Hey, what's going on, y'all? Tristan here. We are on lesson 6, and before I get into it, I just wanted to clear up a couple things. This channel is for entertainment purposes only, not for actual instruction. So when I upload lessons 1 to 6, I'm actually taking double the amount of lessons. So I train on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and Wednesdays I train during the evening, which is way too dark for GoPros. So I leave those lessons out, and it appears that I'm making progress in such a short amount of lessons when actually I'm not. I'm about 12 lessons in so far. So with that being said, today's lessons we're doing short field takeoffs and landings, and I'm gonna be honest, this lesson was probably the worst lesson that I've had so far. First of all, we're doing this lesson in a completely different airplane, not our beloved 249er Foxtrot Sierra. She suffered a PFD outage, so instead we're flying 5138 Victor, which runs on steam gauges. Unfortunately, my back camera that I usually have right here stopped recording after 15 minutes, so there's gonna be no audio in this video from that camera. Instead, I'm just gonna have to talk you guys through it. Technical difficulties, am I right? So with all that said, let's go ahead and dive into the lesson. Here I am pulling up onto the runway to get lined up with the center line before takeoff. And I have to say, this is always where the adrenaline starts pumping because takeoffs are my favorite part of flight. This was the first and only short field takeoff we did because we were doing touch and goes at John Wayne, and it was a pretty simple concept to understand. A simulated takeoff on a short runway while clearing an obstacle. Use as much of the runway as possible, flaps at 10 degrees, full power with the brakes on, gauges in the green, let go of the brakes and start the ground roll. Apply back pressure and pitch for VX, which is the best angle of climb. Once I clear the obstacle at, let's say, 100 feet, then I can clean up the flaps and pitch for VY, which is the best rate of climb. And from there, we can get to our first landing. So this first landing was a regular landing to get me right for what the focus of the lesson was today, short field landings. It was a different plane, so it allowed me to feel it out, and like I said before, the controllers were a little bit mushy. To my surprise, I was able to grease the first landing, and from that point, we focused on short field. The goal of these landings was to land on the second white center line. On this landing, I tried to hold the plane off as long as I could, but I ended up short of the second line and landing on the first one. Theoretically, landing short of your aiming point on a short runway is a good thing, right? But for this lesson, I had to hit the target, so on to the next landing. This second short field landing was probably the second best out of all of them because I hit the target. The only bad part is that I was to the right of the center line. I couldn't seem to get the center line in most of these, and as much as I hate excuses, this plane flies a lot different than 9er Foxtrot Sierra. This was probably the best short field landing out of all of them, and that's not saying a lot. I landed on the second line, centered, and put her down nice and gently. From this point on though, I couldn't seem to get these short field landings down. Landing number 5, not good at all. I was off the center line and I didn't land until the third line when I targeted the second one. I think that with most of these, I was coming in way too fast and I was rounding out way too early because I didn't want to strike the prop. I just had to keep the nose down a little longer and trust myself to apply back pressure when appropriate. So with this landing, I can't tell if I hit the second line or not, but one thing's for sure, I put it down hard. And I always feel a little guilty when I do this because this isn't my plane, but she took it well and we continue. At one point during the flight on our downwind, air traffic control asked us to do a 360 before we continued on the downwind, which is something that I've never experienced before. He didn't say why, but if I had to guess, there had to be another plane around that was entering the pattern, and this was his way of slowing us down to create some space. Nonetheless, it was a great time to practice turns around a point. I hope you all are enjoying this video so far. I wanted to interrupt here real quick and let you know that if you'd like to support me getting my private pilot license, there are 2 links in the description below to buy my photo prints and to purchase a Fly with Tristan sticker. So again, if you'd like to show support, click those links below and know that your support means the world to me. Okay, now back to the video. We did about 4 more landings, but I just could not get a firm grasp of short field landings in this lesson, which sucks because I feel like every lesson I've had has been beyond satisfactory. It's nothing that I can't learn over time though. I wish this lesson would have gone different, but it's not a failure, it's just a setback, and it's nothing that I can't learn from. Now, I hate making excuses for myself, but even though 3-8 Victor and 9 Foxtrot Sierra are the same plane, they fly differently, and I just wasn't used to it. That, and it was my first time practicing short field landings. But yeah, man, short field landings. I don't know what it is. Maybe I have to read up a little bit more on them to fully wrap my mind around it and understand how to do it, because I know what they are. I know what the concept is, but I just need to physically learn how to do it better. I do have my sim here, my X-Plane 12, so maybe I can practice on there a little bit, and hopefully the practice here can translate in real life and I can do better on my short field landings next time we practice it. If you guys have any advice on how to get better at short field landings, please leave them down in the comments below, because I would love to get better at this and I can definitely get better with your help. So that does it for this video, y'all. Before we get up out of here, please drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I upload my lessons weekly, and also hit that notification bell so when I do upload my weekly lesson, you get notified. And until that next video, y'all be easy, all right? I'm out of here. Peace.